Okay, in that case, without further ado, I think we'll move on to our next speaker, if that's okay. So we have Dr. Chinonso Egemba. Are you with us today? So lovely. Okay, so what I will do is quickly, hi, hello. Let me introduce you. A great warm welcome to you, Dr. Chinonso Egemba, Executive Director at the 100K Club, popularly known as the Aproko Doctor, which I would love for you to explain in a moment. Dr. Chinonso is an award-winning medical doctor, writer, actor, and influencer who has consistently impacted the health behaviors of millions of people through his digital health contents on social platforms. He's bagged, as mentioned, numerous awards locally, internationally, and he's a health ambassador for several international brands and organizations. This is interesting. He is also a Knight of the ICFJ, the International Center for Journalists, a non-profit that supports truth tellers. Dr. Chinonso is the founder of the 100K Club, a non-profit with a vision to end health poverty in Nigeria and also Africa through the provision of basic access to healthcare services for vulnerable Nigerians. Please do join Dr. Chinonso, and I believe you'll be sharing your thoughts on maximizing philanthropic impacts using technology. So thank you so much for joining us today. So can I ask you, the Aproko Doctor? I'd love to know more about that.
Yeah, so Aproko basically means, in this part of the world, someone who cannot mind his business. So someone who puts his mouth into other people's business. I think over there, you may refer to him as a busybody. But apparently we wanted to use, I looked for a method where we do not create that boundaries between doctor and patient. So I wanted to break that down. And that's one of the reasons I use digital media to create health content. But I pass it across in such a way that it's lighthearted, it's funny, it's it's easier accepted. People are willing to share that kind of information better than other kinds of information, and I come across as their friend. And so they are willing to share health conditions. They're willing to share the health videos with their friends. And I think this all started in 2015. And currently we have about close to 3 million people following across all social media channels. So I think that's proof that this method is working. And aside from running the research on trying to see what the impact is, people have walked up to me in the street and said, "Oh, I loved your videos. They've transformed my life. I'm better knowledgeable about certain health conditions simply because of the video." So yeah, that would help you understand what Aproko Doctor really means.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And it's well suited for sure. Thank you so much. And I'm very much looking forward to hearing what you would like to share with us today. Thank you. And I'll pass the floor over to you. Thank you.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So today, I think my presentation is going to be really short because we'll basically be talking about maximizing philanthropic impacts through technology. And I started the story, I would use the lessons we've learned from 100K Club as that kind of lesson as to what we've learned and what we've been able to achieve in less than 2 years. And so one of the things I'm grateful for is the privilege of being born in this era. Why this era? Because there are a lot of things that technology has made easier. Example, social media, the apps, the ease of doing things, having this kind of communication with other people from other parts of the world. And it's wonderful what technology has been able to achieve in such a short time. And we can only be grateful, and be expectant towards the future. But then the question is, how has this technology been able to expand or maximize philanthropic impacts? And I'll use mine as I would use mine I would use the story of the 100K Club as an example. And so the 100K Club is less than 2 years old. And in less than 2 years, we've been able to touch about 2,000 people directly. And, we've been able to raise about $30,000 using technology alone. As of currently, we still do not have an office, building dedicated to us. And, but these and the good and philanthropic events that we've been able to achieve, is a direct indicator of just what technology has been able to do. So, of course, we've all known that technology has the power to transform and empower and provide impact to vulnerable people. And when we wanted to start the 100K Club, one of the questions and thoughts on our minds was, how do we dedicated ourselves to passing across health information, but then the next stage was, how about people who could not access this, who could not access care? They know what to do, but they need to access care. How do they access this care? Who pays for it? How do they get it? And initially we had started with ensuring that, people who are in need of healthcare bills per se, people who need money to pay their healthcare bills, will raise money, will crowdfund, and help them pay those bills. But after a while, we realized that it looks like we were pouring water into a basket, because we're just trying to treat the symptoms and not trying to attack the disease. And so we decided earlier this year to move our direction, so to speak, towards preventive campaigns. And in January this year, we screened about 411 women for cervical cancer, and we treated with cryotherapy for free about 71 women who had shown signs of cervical changes, and all this was done, by the 100K Club, like I said, with no office, no building dedicated to us, no team, and just through technology. And so how did we do it? We decided to say, okay, fine, that was just one, and let's see what we can do next. We decided to attack prostate cancer next. And for prostate cancer, we screened a couple of men, still in Nigeria, for prostate cancer, and directed the ones who we found positive, to care and, following up and all that. And like I said, all this has been done through technology. And what is major to me is ensuring that this philanthropic process, or this, this philanthropic outreach that we are trying to do, is maximized. And so we realize that with a lot of NGOs, especially in this part of the world, a lot of funds that are donated to these NGOs do not directly get to the end user. So some of them are simply used to keep the oils, to keep the cogs and wheels running, and very little of that fund actually gets to the end user. For big non-profit organizations, this might not be an issue, simply because they have access to more funds. But then for small non-profit, for small young and nascent young profit organization like ours, it is important that every dollar that is donated to us ends up getting to the end user. And so technology in a way has helped us slim our overhead costs, and ensuring that the funds that are donated is shared directly to the end user. If you look at the left of this, the left, I don't know if it's your left or my left, the left of this photo, you would see this young lady called Jane, and she's wearing a prosthetic leg. I think Jane was one of the major reasons why the 100K Club was started. And I came across Jane's story on social media after a nationwide protest that has gone, around Nigeria, so to speak. And someone shared a picture how she joined the protest and needed a prosthetic leg. And right with my phone, I just thought, how do we go ahead and do this? And I, just tweeted about it and said, oh, fine, and can we help Jane raise this amount of money to help her get a prosthetic leg? And in less than 24 hours, we had raised about 3 million naira. That's about, if I'm not mistaken, about 15 to 16,000 US dollars to help her get a prosthetic. This young man in the middle needed eye surgery, and that was also done. The young lady here, of course, we all have their consent to share these photos. The young lady here had a hole in the heart that cost about 2.4 million naira, and it was donated by people we do not even know, all using the power of social media. And that's where technology, comes in. And that's what technology has been able to do. With technology, almost anyone can become a fundraiser. Technology has democratized, so to speak, the nonprofit space. And for us, for big nonprofits for big nonprofit organizations, they have the luxury of certain networks, certain people, governors, presidents. But for nascent young nonprofits like us, we do not have that luxury. And so the only social network we have is the people. And people have been able to trust us and say, okay, we believe in your cause and we'll support it. And we supported it over the years. So one of the things that technology has done is to democratize the philanthropic space. Anyone can become a fundraiser, tap into these social networks and raise money for their preferred causes. For us, we've decided to go the way of health, but for other people, there are other philanthropic projects that other people can undergo. And these are the women who joined us, who were beneficiaries of the cervical cancer screening. This is just a cross section. Of course, we had it in different locations. These are different locations, so to speak. And then technology is also, enabling people who are looking for courses. One of the things that people wonder, or people are worried about when it comes to giving is sometimes they do not know what to support. But people are saying, I think there are certain people out there who have decided that a certain portion of their income will be channeled towards charity causes or philanthropic causes, but they do not know what to support. And with the advent of technology, with the advent of social media, people from different parts of the world are supporting us. People are saying, "Oh, we love what you do," and it's giving the donors, that choice to say, "We found what this person is doing, and want to be a part of it." And we are also looking for organizations, so to speak, that are, creating impact in the world. So that's another thing that technologies helped us do. Another thing is that technology has also helped us create accountability. And we see ourselves as a nonprofit that belongs to the people. And yeah, we are just drivers for this nonprofit. And one of the things that, that we do is when you log into our fundraiser sites, you can see how much we've raised so far. And because of that, people are able to say, okay, there is some kind of accountability. You can see how much we spent. You can see how much we've used. Our projects are there for everyone to see. And these also encourages people to, say that I see the accountability that's going on. And, because of that, of course, there are people who want to join us before now, but, they're kind of like watching and, trying to see what's happening and before they decide to jump in. But the way we go about our accountability processes and saying, yes, this is what this is what we've done. These are the people who've helped. These are the people who want to help. We tend to see that this spurs more people to action. Another thing that technology has been able to do is some donors would want to give directly to the recipients. For here, the kind of people who donate to us majorly are the people who are, middle class. Sometimes somebody will say, okay, this particular month I'm going to give $3 to this, but I want it to go directly to this person, and fundraiser projects on the platform. And those funds go directly to the beneficiaries, and not to keep the oils and the wheels running, and to keep the cogs and the wheels running. And that is one thing that technology has been able to help us do. And everybody keeps talking about the blockchain, blockchain technology, and that is also important, especially for we that are other places in the world. And one of the speakers, I think Larry, mentioned that especially we in Nigeria here do not have access to PayPal, and wiring money, excuse me, and wiring money through the banks could take some time, especially when there are emergencies. And one of the things that the blockchain technology, especially cryptocurrency, we've had some donations from certain people from around the world, and it's come via cryptocurrency. They're saying, okay, we're donating this amount of Bitcoin, we're donating this amount of Ethereum. Do you have this wallet? And we say yes, and they share this. They give us this particular amount of money that they want to help support the causes with. So for the massive rise, in cryptocurrencies, there's also been an increase in people who have been adopting this particular form of giving, and it's been wonderful so far. We are looking to expand our reach, and so to speak, and take it beyond the state of Lagos and into other states. And so, of course, there's still more to be done. But currently what is available is because of donor apathy, and some people get tired when they give, over and over and over again. One of the things that we help them do is to automate their giving. And so we say, can you, help us decide how much in a month you're fine with? And they put in their card details, and every month automatically it deducts the funds from their account. And with that, we're able to have what looks or what seems to be like a steady stream of income that helps us still reach out to more people without ensuring that a lot of this money is, wasted in, ensuring, that the lights are on and all that. And a lot of the people who are in the 100K club are volunteers. I think only about 2 or 3 people in our team is on a salary basis. Everyone else, including myself, is purely on volunteer basis. We do not get any form of remuneration for our services. And, we're simply kept on by the motivation of what good that we are doing. And we are able to achieve this because of the ease that technology is, giving us. And so what lessons have we learned so far? One of the things is that accountability. In as much as it's easy to say that technology has democratized everything, and anyone else can, anyone in particular can be a fundraiser, it is also important to note that it is key, and that accountability is key to ensuring that you retain and you keep the trust of these people. Yes, it's democratized, but in order for people to trust you, it's almost like a two-way street. So I show you exactly what I've been doing. And because of that, you trust me and you're able to, give me your funds to be able to help other people. Fundraising should be democratized simply because there is only so much a lot of these other NGOs can do. And in developing countries, especially like Nigeria, it is important that we reach out to as many people as we can. There are other people, there are other causes out there that, can be reached. There are other states, and, other people can start up certain projects in their own community, and they don't need to have, certain structures in place. All they just need is that drive and that goal and the willingness to do that, and with technology, that's possible. And the focus should be on impact. It is not enough to say, oh, we have this amount of followers on social media. It's how many people have you impacted, in real life. And fundraising can be easier. We've shown that it's easy, and this is only the beginning for us as the 100K Club. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that. I have to say, it's interesting, some of what you've mentioned, especially when it comes to blockchain and traceability, because in terms of the charity sector and in terms of the donations, there is so much distrust out there in the world today. So one of the things, Dr. Chinonso, that you mentioned was the ability to allow donors to give direct to, the person who it's for, or to the cause that it's for, without having to worry too much about an intermediary, or giving it through a charity that's going to give it on to a partner that's going to deduct the costs and things as well. So it's quite interesting, and I think it's quite important, some of the key points that you've highlighted about giving, about traceability, about impact, because it's very easy as a donor to say, right, I've donated, I feel good, and I've done my part. But often that's where that experience ends, and that's where that journey ends. And if you think about the impacts and what else can be done and what else can be shared, it's just such a shame that more projects and more organizations aren't adopting the same philosophy that you are. But equally, it's a bit of a double-edged sword in that they have a lot of red tape, bureaucracy, the politics, often, and every country and every state will have that within themselves, and the costs. And it's interesting that you mentioned that a lot of people that are working with your organization are volunteers, but you shouldn't have to be either, because at the end of the day, what you're doing it's a full-time job, it's hard work, but it's incredible to see that you are dedicating so much of your own time to this, for sure.
Thank you. One of the major reasons why we decide to not get paid for our work is if our donors can trust us in ensuring that we give this money to the people who actually need it. Our part in ensuring that it gets to them is ensuring that we reduce the amount of cogs in wheels that before all that, and ensure that if this person is donating $100 to this person, at least $90 should get to that person. Of course, there are other things that should be paid for, but we just try and say, okay, let this be our contribution to society as a person until we're able to solve health as a problem in Nigeria.
And I think that level of transparency is refreshing, because admin costs are a reality of a charity. But unfortunately, a lot of charities and organizations are forced to seemingly abuse this, and perhaps abuse is not the right word. It's more, in order for them to be able to deliver what they want to do, they have to eat into that. And it's a shame, because then that goes down to 50, 45% of the donations. So I love that you have that transparency and this determination to ensure that at least 90% of it is going to go to the end user. And that's a great philosophy to continue to go by.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Lovely. Okay, so please do stick around for the Q&A, if that's okay, because I think Dr. Chinonso, there'll be a lot more in terms of comments and questions. I think we will have lots in hopefully coming through in the Q&A box as well. And if that's the case, then please feel free to also answer these direct if you feel comfortable.